Ah, good morning. Not moving very fast, but so, welcome to our next video. Today I'm going to show you what we accomplished this week. Quite a bit actually, and now we're going to start to see some of the results of some of the things we've been doing. First of all, those Bountiful Harvest planters, we planted seedlings in, probably 3 weeks ago, and I wanted to show you the difference of these systems right here and how they are doing, because these results are overwhelming. Now you can see what we were talking about. So without further ado, these right now are the cherry tomatoes that about 3 weeks ago, this one was, all these actually are about 3 to 4 inches high. And as you can see just by staking them, the massive amounts of growth we had. We did pinch off many of the first fruits, and you can see they've really come back, especially here. So this is why I swear by these up and down. Like I said, a little expensive, about 30 bucks a pop, but well worth it. Over here we took some of the leftover seedlings to see how they grow. If you can see, we put a couple okra plant singles in there. And over here, you can see these towers are doing fine. These are going to be for our salads and that, and we're going to stagger plant them. And as you can see, some of them are coming up right now. So we always have fresh lettuce. And over here is the wife planted her loofah seedlings, started from the seed for her loofah gourds. It's kind of another uncommon thing you see growing in Wisconsin. So anyway, for the most part we did finish it, and I have to do again shout out to the wife and the kids. Mostly when I was at work, that the rest of the garden mulching got done. So as we head up, we'll take a look around and show you a few other bonus jobs that got done. And to ignore the construction zone still in the yard, oh well. The first and foremost thing, here are the chives, and these things look fantastic. These right here are the smaller ones we planted last year. As you can see, they overtook the bed very nicely, which is what we wanted. And over here earlier this week, my daughter Kira transplanted some more of them, which those are kind of how they look like last year over here. So we figure another year they're really going to blow up. We are letting them go to seed, then knock the seeds around, increase it a little more. But again, as you can see right here, simply beautiful. They turned out awesome. They taste fantastic. So what we did this week is we finished up the garden mulching, and it did take pretty much 200 bags of cedar chips. As you can see, which I'll show you in a minute, we used pretty much all of them up in a lot of our dirt that was done. And in doing, we decided to clean up this area, and I don't think anybody's seen the shed in years on top now. And this is the area where all the chips were piled last week. So yeah, we get rid of some of the branches laying around right here. We can actually walk next to the shed And we probably reclaimed about 150 to 200 square feet total of the yard, or will when it's done. The one main thing that we do have a concern about, which we're going to do, and we decided to kill the soil around the perimeter, is this little bastard, crown vetch. It's an invasive species. It's starting to encroach a little bit on the walkway on the side of the garden, but we should be able to pretty much take care of that, or at least keep it at bay. But that definitely is going to have to be a priority. So, didn't get everything we wanted done, but we got a few bonus projects as usual. And all in all, a good week. Got a little time to relax a little bit, which is much deserved. And just enjoy some time together, some good meals. And without further interruptions, I'd like to show you our garden and what we've done. So as you can see, pretty much everything is entirely chipped. And a lot of the bags did not go wasted or recycled, as we used them to piecemeal in some of the corners. The only thing undecided left is what we're going to do right here with the entrance. And we want to lay something down, maybe possibly put a path out here into it. So, one of the first things we did is right here in the corner, which is all dirt. We nixed on having to plant something there for right now. And there's a lot of open spaces, but the reason is we have a lot of the pots, specifically with the okra and the loofah is down there, which I showed you earlier. We will end up putting around here and adding a little bit more furniture, possibly around this area, and replace it with more of those Bountiful Harvest planters. We're thinking maybe 10 to 15 more. So right here we have her Mother's Day present, which is doing fine in that, so it should bloom good next year. And all that's left realistically is to plant and fluff up the soil a little bit, and this is going to be our new 4x6 bed we did. Probably put some more fava beans from seed right here, for some fast growing ones, and we'll add the stakes as needed. When we put up a bamboo TP trellis yesterday for some more pole beans. The pear trees are doing fantastic. If you look up here, pretty much from here all the way up to here, which is about 14 inches growth since we put them in. So they are really loving the weather here. This right here is our sugar lace snap peas, and they're starting to grow fine. You can see right here our cucumbers have awesome color, as well as the Brussels sprouts. They're getting a nice growth on there, and already from seed we have some of our first okra seeds popping up there. So over here the peppers, these aren't, for some reason the soil is not as good as we wanted, but we are getting some blossoms on them. The tomatoes are taken to it a lot well, more than anything. And this was the ones that were we got from the landscape company, which never again. We would much rather pay the difference by bags and put it in ourselves. A little more expensive, but you know, if you look at the results right here versus this is the one, and it don't look like the greatest soil, a lot of filler, but I'll tell you what, it's from Fleet Farm, and they did something right in there because it's doing fantastic with the plants. And over here we've had in last week the yellow patty pan squash coming up, and some of the couple white ones starting to go. There's a lot of weeds in there. But some of the okra seedlings are taking fine in there. Over here, again, some of the heirloom tomato varieties. We got the indigo rose ones. Those are climbing fine since we staked them, and wow, we got our first blossom down there on them. The jalapenos are starting to bud a little bit, so we're gonna have to nip them off, and hopefully it'll grow a little bit better. And all along here, right around the cage line, is where the different pole beans are growing. So we have a good start right there. We're hoping soon that the corn will pop up, as well as some more of the okra on this side of this bed. And this right here is that Jeannie did a fantastic job on here, mulching. Then we got a small fence perimeter for right here. We can get a much better close-up of the her personal bed, her area of zen, whatever you want to call it. Turned out fantastic. So, if you're watching, hon, good job. And our new herb garden area, all fully mulched all around. Which some of these ain't doing so good too, by the way. Well, I shouldn't say it, they are doing good, but it's a lot of wasted space. So these may go into pots next year. Just have to start them by seeds or by annuals or whatever. This right here, we do have beans planted along this cage right here. And I do not recall right off the top of my head if anything else was planted here, which we'll get there. So moving on over here to the kids' tires, we did plant arugula lettuce last week, and as you can see, it's already starting to come up, as well as the red giant mustard. And these greens like this are fantastic because they grow at a phenomenal rate, and you can utilize them instantly. This was a seed a week and a half ago, this giant mustard. And up here, the giant noble spinach, we have our first plants coming up on that half. And some more arugula lettuce, and same here. This, I'm not sure if this is a strawberry plant, it looks like it or whatever, but whatever it is, you know, it already overtook the tire, so it's like, hey, let's let it grow and see what happens. I don't think it is. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. It looks similar. There's a little weeding here, but yeah, that's okay. Our asparagus seedlings are doing fine. Her beets that she planted, you know, these were all seedlings, and they recommend direct sowing, which we did not do. But you know, whatever she did, she obviously did a fantastic job. They're coming up nice. And then we're going to let this rhubarb here too go to seed, and hopefully it'll take over this whole area right here. As I said, the one thing is when doing this, it may be 2-3 years before we reap the benefits of anything, but that's okay. I mean, when it's done, it's done. When everything starts taking, the whole point is to make it easier and easier to produce more with less work. In other words, work harder, or work smarter, not harder. Now going back here on the back of the cage, these were finally started coming up right here. And those are the Chinese pole beans, or the yard-long beans, and we'll see how we're doing. This is her broccoli, which is doing fine, but we gotta start watching it because you want to get it before it seeds, otherwise it's done. Then over here and back, they're gaining a lot more strength than last week, and there's some more of our tomatoes. And we put all our strawberries in here that we bought and saved from last year, and I'll tell you what, they love it right here. Very little maintenance. Mulched it good. And we do have a plastic bottom, but enough drainage holes in there for them to go through. So it holds the moisture real well. And as you can tell, some of the plants are starting to produce berries very well. A lot better than they had in the other ones. And over here are more of the tomatoes. And all different varieties. And over on this half by the peppers, if you look, we got probably about 20 seedlings of okra coming up. Which don't look like much, but if they grow like they used to in the pots down there, they'll be about 4 or 5 feet tall soon enough. One more thing by mulching too, and they started to look a little dead. That one's still got a couple iffy leaves, but the grapevines have really started to turn green. So we are real happy with that. The cherry trees, they're doing okay. Something we gotta look into there. Something's eating the leaves on there, so that's something we did not plan for, and this is our first year doing them, so we'll have to find a solution at that quick. In here, this was last week, our daikon radishes. As you can see, they are exploding phenomenally on some of them. And our fava beans, those are about 15 inches tall right now. I'd say probably the best thing that looks the best right now is on this side of the cage is the sugar peas. That these things are just coming out phenomenally. They look real good. This area here is about 2 feet tall right now up the cage. I hope Jeannie kind of took down what she did in the soil, because last year our dill didn't take too well. And she direct sowed these right here from seed. As you seen a couple weeks ago, there was nothing. She's really getting an awesome, awesome line right now. The eggplants, they're starting to love this weather, so keep an eye on there for their first blossoms and pinch them off quick. Over here are our hotter pepper varieties, and the chocolate Trinidad scorpion. Wow, they are really starting to roll their blossoms out very good. The Carolina Reapers, again, this is the first time growing them. Store-bought and plants, we're starting to get some buds on them. And then the ones I had that failed, basically. Ha! Oh well, live and learn. We did plant more okra on there. And the thing about okra is, what I've learned is they make a good buffer with companion planting. Not everything will go with a hot pepper, and not everything will go with a tomato, for example. But realistically, okra does awesome. I mean, you can even buffer that between corn and other things. So it does make a difference. Very healthy. If you're looking for a farmer's market, cheapest I've seen fresh okra in a store here is probably close to $5 a pound, which is about 20 pods at 2 to 3 inches. They say don't let the pods get too long, but at the same time too, if you cook them and stew them slow, they will soften up. I'm not saying have the 10, 12 inch pods. They will be woody no matter what, but probably get them about, we've cooked them at about 6 to 8 inches last year and they were fine. Now over here is what we did with the blueberries, and these things had some really nice time blossoming. The ones in back, that one and that one, are more the climbing variety, and if I had to do it again, I would get more of the bush varieties, which are these three right here. And these will supposedly get about 3 to 4 feet high and bush out about 2 to 3 feet. So in a couple of years, hopefully these come back. This whole front half will be nothing but blueberries. And the thing with the garden too, the old garden, which is right here, which is all our squash and melons and pumpkins that we started. This is kind of an experiment, but I'll tell you what, this is where we've been dumping all our chicken poo for the past year, and then rototilled it up. And as you can see, the gourds and the melon plants love it. I mean, these things are just blowing up. If you look back there and you see that patch there, that's about 2 feet across, and those are actually rogue pumpkin seeds that seeded themselves that we missed when we were cleaning up. You know, these things right here are the blue Hubbard squash that were started from seed a week and a half ago. So I think it's pretty much safe to say that the nitrogen content of the soil is pretty good. The watermelons we started, got 2 plants there, and they're still alive. As I said, there needs to be a lot of weeding. But like right here, this is the one area we did not mulch, mainly because we ran out. But yeah, we're gonna have to really nip this one in the bud this week. So it's gonna have to be probably a good priority. Sneak over here, see if I can get through without stepping on anything. And right there's our cantaloupe plants. As you can see, the milkweed's taken over, which that's kind of a curse and a blessing, because realistically, the curse because it's taken over part of the garden. It's a blessing because it's awesome for pollinators and the monarch butterflies. And over here we got our little pile of horseradish, and the rhubarb, as you can see, went to seed, and a lot of the old asparagus plants. So we're going to have to do something about that. I'm going to come a little bit closer up over here. And some more of the gourds that we planted over here. And up there's a little bit better picture of the rogue pumpkins. There's a couple small seedlings coming up there yet too as well. This right here, I mean, this was, if I had to guess, maybe about 2 months ago, all fenced in, everything pulled by hand. And this is what crown vetch does. I mean, it's very invasive, so I mean, it's sad to say we might even have to strike this as a major loss in the garden right here and kill all the vegetation on this, from this asparagus on back. Which would be a shame, but I mean, it is what it is. Otherwise, you know, we're gonna lose that. So, you know, choices have to be made. This right here is a fence line right here that is going. Yeah, this was an old compost pile, but you know, it does not take too long for the stuff to go. So, you know, hopefully when we start clearing out this area right here in back of the shed and around here, we can really control it. Most likely put some, after we kill it, try and cook the ground and put some plastic on or something. I don't know yet. So, this was our work for the week up here, and hope you liked it. And we'll have to keep an eye on the crops down here to see how they go. So, I hope you have an awesome Sunday. It's a little cool out here, but looks like we got some blue sky starting. And I'm about to have a fantastic breakfast, French toast, prepared by my loving wife. So, hope you all have a good day, and we'll see you next video.